TNA Wrestling presents their annual Slammiversary pay-per-view this Sunday, July 20th, 2025, from Long Island in New York at the UBS Arena. And TNA is hyping it as a phenomenal pay-per-view, arguably one of the biggest TNA pay-per-views of all time. And it's set to feature several WWE and NXT superstars. We're going to let you know which WWE names have been confirmed to be appearing for TNA at the Slammiversary pay-per-view, as well as some names that could be set to appear that have yet to be announced. We'll let you know all of the details in this countdown video. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin today's countdown video, you can see right there we are on our way to 24,000 subscribers, on the road to 25k. Of course, our goal is to get to 25k in 2025. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Join all the members of the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestle News universe. And since we're talking about TNA Slammiversary, a reminder, we will be live on Sunday night for a TNA Slammiversary watch along, as well as a TNA Slammiversary post show. So be sure to join us for both of those live streams on Sunday nights. Right, let's get into today's countdown video and let's talk about TNA Slammiversary. Total non-stop action wrestling. TNA is presenting their Slammiversary pay-per-view this Sunday, July 20th, from Elmont, New York, from Long Island in New York, from the UBS Arena, and it's a big one. TNA Wrestling President Carlos Silva has said it's going to be arguably TNA's biggest show ever. Of course, it's taking place at the UBS Arena. As of the time recording this video, TNA have probably sold over 5,000 tickets. It's on track to be one of the highest attended TNA shows ever in the United States. In addition to that, it could be one of the largest pay-per-view buy rates that TNA Wrestling has ever done as well. Now, a lot of people have been talking about WWE's relationship with TNA Wrestling and how that's influenced the interest and certainly the surge in popularity that TNA has experienced over the last 12 months. Well, at Slammiversary, we've got several WWE superstars that have already been confirmed for the show, competing at the show, and could possibly be set to appear, and also yet to be announced for the show. So let's get into which WWE superstars could be set to appear on Long Island in New York on Sunday, beginning with the TNA World Champion himself, Trick Williams. Now, Trick Williams arguably has been one of the biggest beneficiaries of the TNA and WWE working relationship in terms of holding gold. Trick Williams has made history by becoming the first ever WWE active contracted talent to hold a TNA championship. Of course, he is the current TNA World Champion. He defeated Joe Hendry back at the Battleground Premium Live event and became the TNA World Heavyweight Champion in the process. Since then, he's been a regular on not only WWE NXT but also TNA Impact, and he's going to be competing in the main event at Slammiversary, where he will be defending the TNA World Championship against two TNA Wrestling contracted talents. Of course, he will be defending the championship against Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. Of course, previously he defeated Joe Hendry for the championship, and now he's got to defend it not only against the former champion, but also Mike Santana in the process. Now, when it comes to Trick Williams being set to appear this weekend, many do believe it's likely going to be the end of his run as TNA World Champion. I think a lot of people did expect the championship going on a WWE superstar was an attempt by TNA to boost ticket sales for this show. Obviously, Slammiversary being one of TNA's biggest shows of the year, along with Bound for Glory, but also it's an event that TNA for the longest time have had big plans for, booking out the UBS Arena on Long Island in New York, an arena that can hold a lot of people. The expectation is, like I said earlier on, it probably will hold around sort of 5,000 to 6,000 people, most likely. As I've said, it can actually hold, for the likes of sort of ice hockey concerts, anywhere between 17,000 to 19,000. So certainly it could be that it's not going to have that many people there at Slammiversary this weekend, but still, it's a big swing by TNA Wrestling to book an arena that big. They could have booked a building that was a capacity of 4,000, 5,000, but they wanted to try and get as many people as they possibly can in the building. With the walk-up, it might end up being over 6,000, 7,000. You never know. Certainly with an announcement of a TNA Wrestling legend returning, that may also boost last-minute ticket sales too. Certainly, I think TNA will be hoping that that is the case. But Trick Williams, as I mentioned, a WWE NXT superstar, will be featured front and center in that main event. He's been confirmed to be appearing, defending the TNA World Championship against Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. And as I said, the expectation is he'll be dropping the TNA World Championship to one of the TNA contracted talents there. Now, speaking of NXT superstars set to appear, Jacy Jayne she'll also be competing in a title match, but the stakes are arguably even bigger than just the TNA World Championship match that Trick Williams will be in. Of course, Jacy Jayne will be competing in a winners take alls match. This is massive. Winner takes all, because it will be Masha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts World Champion, defending her championship against Jacy Jayne. Of course, is the NXT Women's Championship, and both titles will be on the line. Now, of course, Jacy Jayne will have her Fatal Influence stablemates Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix by her side. Masha Slamovich will have Li Ying Lee and Xia Brookside by her side, so there shouldn't be too much of a numbers problem there. But either way, we're going to have history. We're going to find out who is going to be the first ever female to hold both the TNA Knockouts World Championship and the WWE NXT Women's Championship at the same time. Now, Masha Slamovich could certainly make history in this one. She could become the first ever TNA Wrestling contracted talent to hold an active WWE Championship, or Jacy Jayne can replicate what Trick Williams did by becoming a WWE NXT contracted talent to hold an active TNA Championship, but also make even more history by holding the World Championship from NXT for her division in the process. Now, as far as Jacy Jayne getting it, look, she's had to overcome a lot. Of course, first she defeated Stephanie McCurr in a shocking upset to win the NXT Women's Championship. She's since defended the championship against the likes of Jordynne Grace as well at WWE Evolution recently. And after defeating Jordynne Grace, thanks in help to Blake Monroe turning on Grace at the time, it actually officially set this match up for Slammiversary. As far as who could win this one, I guess it really is anyone's guess at this time. Maybe we could see a situation where WWE are returning the favor for Trick Williams holding the TNA World Championship. So Masha Slamovich wins here and she starts to appear more frequently on WWE NXT television. She's appeared a couple of times even prior to getting involved with this title match feud with Jacy Jayne. She did appear several times in the audience on WWE NXT television on the CW. So if I had to lean anywhere, I'd probably lean towards Masha Slamovich taking all of the championships, and it certainly would be a massive opportunity and a massive statement from her. Let's move on and talk about the villainous rogue faction that is Dark State. Dark State will be competing. All 4 members of Dark State will be competing this weekend at Slammiversary, which is actually a bit of a rarity. We haven't always seen this from NXT's faction. Now, since they've debuted, we've seen them actually appearing a couple of times. We've seen them appear, in 6-man tags or tag team matches, things like that. But now they are going to be competing as a complete unit. For the first time on TV, NXT's Dark State will be competing at full force. The chaotic foursome of Cutler James, Dion Lennox, Osiris Griffin, and Saquon Sugars will be competing at TNA Slammiversary. They will be going up against the System's JDC, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards. Now, joining the System for one night only will be Matt Cardona. Of course, this comes after Dark State attacked all 4 men on the July 17th edition of TNA Impact. Now, Dark State has competed in 10 matches since coming together as a group in WWE NXT. Now, only one of those matches has seen all 4 competitors wrestle at the same time, and that wasn't even on television. That was actually at an NXT live event. It was their first match at an NXT live event on April 5th, 2025. On that night in Gainesville, Florida, Dark State defeated Drake Moreau, Draco Knox, Javier Bernal, and Uriah Connors. Now, as for their opposition, of course, Matt Cardona is no stranger to team with Brian Myers. They've won the WWE Tag Team Championship gold on 2 occasions. However, in recent weeks, the rest of the System, they made an enemy out of the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, but that changed when they made the save for Cardona against Dark State on July 17th. So you've got a situation here where you've got 2 of the biggest and most dominant factions of both TNA Wrestling and WWE NXT facing off. And facing off this weekend at Slammiversary is one thing, but you feel like with this kind of faction warfare, it won't be over just yet. And Lord knows we've seen when it comes to Dark State, their chaotic style that they've competed in. You feel like this one could be just the beginning of an all-out war between 2 dominant factions of 2 promotions. And AJ Styles, of course, the announcement was made official just a couple of days ago that AJ Styles indeed was going to be appearing at Slammiversary. Now, there had been hints. Carlos Silva, the TNA Wrestling president, had teased that Slammiversary was going to be phenomenal, and indeed it will be, because AJ Styles is coming home. On Thursday's episode of TNA Impact, the teaser aired for the phenomenal one, indicating that he was set to make this appearance at TNA Slammiversary Slammiversary on Sunday. On Friday morning, the promotion made things official, taking to social media to confirm that Styles will be appearing at the upcoming pay-per-view. TNA tweeted, quote, "Breaking, the phenomenal AJ Styles returns to TNA this Sunday at TNA Slammiversary, live on pay-per-view and TNA Plus from UBS Arena on Long Island, New York." Now, they actually released a press release as well saying, quote, "Yes, the phenomenal news is true. The phenomenal AJ Styles will be at Slammiversary from TNA Wrestling on Sunday, July 20th at UBS Arena in Elmont, New York." TNA Wrestling President Carlos Silva tweeted that Slammiversary will be phenomenal, drawing immediate worldwide speculation that one of the greatest TNA stars of all time will return to the company he called home for more than a decade. After another phenomenal hint Thursday during the broadcast of the company's flagship weekly show Impact on Access TV, Silva ended the speculation. AJ Styles will be part of Slammiversary on Sunday, which many wrestling insiders are predicting will be the biggest TNA show, especially after Silva shared on social media, "We're moving the stage back to accommodate more fans." Now, Silva did not comment on what Styles will be doing at Slammiversary, the showcase event of the year that features 2 high-profile championship matches involving TNA and WWE NXT stars, and many other much-anticipated matches. TNA World Champion Trick Williams, the NXT star, puts the title on the line against former TNA World Champion Joe Hendry and hometown hero Mike Santana in a 3-way match. Plus, NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne puts her championship on the line against TNA Knockouts World Champion Masa Slamovich, and one of the two will leave Slammiversary with both the TNA Knockouts and NXT Women's Championships. Of course, when it comes to Styles, this will be the first time he's appeared on TNA Wrestling programming in over a decade, for the first time since leaving the company back in 2014. And if AJ Styles is there, as we've seen recently on WWE television, then sometimes that means Dominic Mysterio might not be too far away. Now, all of the other names we've mentioned so far in this video, they've all been announced. They've been confirmed. They're either competing in matches, or their appearances have been confirmed by TNA Wrestling themselves in the case of AJ Styles. But when it comes to Dominic Mysterio, this could be a surprise. How have we put this one together? Well, of course, every single week recently on Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles has been going after Dominic Mysterio. AJ Styles was due to challenge for the WWE Intercontinental Championship at Night of Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, Dominic Mysterio had a rib injury, and ever since then, he's had his doctor's note. He's been going up to Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and saying, "I can't compete. I'm not medically cleared. I've got my doctor's note. I can't compete." Now, Adam Pearce has said multiple times that, well, to be honest with you, then, we can't have the Intercontinental Championship, but the moment you are cleared, you're going to be defending the WWE Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles. Now, the suggestion has been that when it comes to Dominic Mysterio, if Dominic Mysterio, once he is cleared to compete, Dominic Mysterio will be defending the championship against the Phenomenal One. And next week on Raw, he's actually going to be evaluated. He's going to be evaluated by WWE Medical, and they're going to see if he's going to be defending the championship against AJ Styles. I think Adam Pearce said that was likely to take place at SummerSlam, so I don't think we're going to get an impromptu Intercontinental Championship match or anything like that. But what's Dominic Mysterio all about? Dominic Mysterio is all about respect. He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't respect his father. He doesn't respect fans. He doesn't respect AJ Styles. He certainly doesn't respect veterans, and I doubt he respects TNA Wrestling. What perfect way to show his utmost disdain and disrespect for AJ Styles to ruin his big moment when AJ Styles returns to the place he helped build, the place that is synonymous with his legacy, TNA Wrestling, at Slammiversary for the first time in over a decade. He's on TNA Wrestling television, and who's he get interrupted by but the disrespectful, dirty Dominic Mysterio? It just makes too much sense, doesn't it, for Dirty Dom to once again get in the way of AJ Styles and disrespect a big moment for him. So don't be shocked if the Intercontinental Champion, member of the Judgment Day, does appear at Slammiversary on Long Island. But there you go, guys. There are 5 WWE superstars that have either already been announced or could appear at TNA Wrestling's Slammiversary this weekend. What do you think of the list? Which ones do you think are more likely than others? Let me know your thoughts, your reaction, as always, in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. A reminder, we will be live for TNA Slammiversary, a live watch-along on the channel. 15 minutes before the show goes live on the air on pay-per-view. We'll also be live with a live post-show, so it's going to be a lot of fun on Sunday. So be sure to be there. Click the notification bell. You'll be notified when we go go live. All of the details will be up on the event page, indeed, when we make the event public. I hope everyone joins in. Click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You can scan that QR code, become members of the WN365 roster too. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.